Hello, welcome back. It's been a minute since we did Friday faves. I've seriously missed this kind of video. I honestly think I said I wasn't going to do it in July, and then I just kind of like dropped off the face of YouTube. And I think this once a week video was kind of keeping me grounded in everything. And not having that, I was like, oh well, you know, maybe I'll post on Sunday instead. Oh well, maybe I'll post on Wednesday, and then I just didn't. For the majority of the month. So hello, welcome back. I'm so happy to be here. I've got some favourites that aren't even necessarily favourites of the week because it's been a minute since we did one of these videos, but some favourites that I've been really enjoying over the past probably month. And I'm going to kick off with this because as you see this, tomorrow I will be going to a Next store in the UK that's got a full-on Bath and Body Works inside. I've heard rumours, I've seen pictures, but I have not actually seen one in person myself. Yes, I'm very excited. So I thought I would mention this in case I happen upon it. This is one of my all-time favourite Bath and Body Works candles. It's called Sun-Washed Citrus. It's got something in there. It's just a really strong lemony scent, but it's like a sweet lemon. I've got another one that's a lemon scent. Not at all the same. Like from what I've just described, a really sweet lemony scent. You would think this. Sugared lemonade. This is a completely different thing. This is really smoky smelling. This one says fresh lemon juice, sugar crystals, crushed ice, essential oils. This one says Sorrento lemon, citron, agave nectar, and essential oils. These are completely different. This is a kind of more grown-up scent. This is like, oh, smells like a bowl of lemons. I love it so much. And I'm telling you, and I'm telling myself, look out for this tomorrow, because if I can find that in the UK, I will. If not, I need to remember it for when we go to Vegas, and hopefully they'll still have some summer stock, because that is definitely up there with one of my absolute favourites. Would you guys be interested at some point in me like giving you a rundown, even if I do it as a blog post or like an Instagram something, of my absolute favourite Bath and Body Works candles? Because I've tried so many and I've kept a lot of the jars of these are my absolute favourites, so I remember. Maybe let me know. Something else I've been using tons this past month is the one of the two, because I've got this one and the Rose Bomb. These were sent to me, but I would absolutely pay my own money for them because I love them. They're the Pixi priming oils. This one's the brightening vitamin C. It's a duo phase product. So if I use that right now, it's just going to pull all of the oil out of the bottom, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you shake it up, it's kind of partially oily, partially kind of essence-y. And it's not quite as oily. The finish on your skin is not like, it's not just oil. It feels more like a really hydrating moisturizer. And I love putting this on underneath my makeup. I've got it on today, and it just means that nothing kind of settles into any lines. There's no dryness that my makeup is kind of clinging onto. Can't recommend it enough. If you've tried something similar to this at a lower price point, let me know, because it's not cheap. I'm comfortable paying because the amount that I use of it, this is going to last me a long time, so I'm kind of okay with that. But I would try a cheaper version in order to be able to recommend a cheaper version for you guys. So if you can recommend anything that you think I should try, or if there's anything you've seen that you'd like me to give a go, let me know. But I would absolutely have no problem purchasing that again in a heartbeat. It's really, really great. One of the non-beauty favourites that I've been using that I kind of hemmed and hawed about talking about because it's slightly medical, I suppose, because it's vitamins. I have got like there are certain things that I won't promote per se. Like for example, I've been offered things about like CBD vaping. I have vaped CBD in the past. I'm not right now, but I have in the past for pain relief, and I think it was quite effective. All the drops and all of those things, but I won't accept promotions for that because it still is vaping, and that's still something that if I talk about it, there's a very different vibe between talking about doing something and being paid to talk about doing something, you know? And so I've turned down a lot of different promotions about vitamins because I don't know, vitamin supplements, I don't know what these things are, but I am going to talk about this because I bought it from Tesco, mostly on the back of a lot of your guys' recommendations. Because when I was talking about being pretty low in kind of June, July time. I was tired all the time and I was just kind of in a funk and I couldn't really shake it off. Loads and loads of people said, have you had blood tests? You know, often that's the question. But lots of other people said, take some vitamin D supplements. So, which my husband always laughs when I tell him, I'm feeling so much better now I'm taking vitamin D. I am feeling so much better now I'm taking vitamin D. All the funnier, I'm now taking a double dose. So all, you know, entirely self-prescribed. I can't imagine that there's anything so terrible in this that you need to be prescribed, because it is just something you can buy off the shelf in Tesco. But I take 2 of these every day. I'm pretty sure it just says to take 1. It does. But you know, I'm going to go to an extreme. So I have to take 2. I was taking 1 originally. And in fairness, I don't necessarily remember to take it every day. So maybe it evens out to 1. But when I remember, I'm taking this. And I absolutely think I can see a difference in my mood when I've forgotten to take it for a few days. I don't know if that's psychosomatic, but honestly, I don't care, because it makes me feel happier. It really, really does. The crazy thing is, my friend Emma made a video the other day where she was talking about hormones, and she'd been diagnosed but not diagnosed with perimenopause, because it's kind of something you can't diagnose. So she'd kind of been through that, and she's now taking vitamin D, among other things. I'm also taking a different multivitamin, which has got iron in it, because I think that, again, weirdly, it was strange because we were on a similar journey, totally separately to each other. And she'd said that she'd noticed a massive difference as well. And I watched that video and was like, looking at these on my desk, like, you might be little miracle workers. So if you've been super, super tired and just feeling kind of inexplicably low, give it a go. Obviously, I don't want to recommend something potentially medical, you know, but I'm telling you, this made a big difference to me. And throughout July, when I was not really vlogging and not really making YouTube videos so much, I was just really in kind of like a low, and I decided to just not push myself to do the things that I didn't want to do in those moments, and not push myself to kind of put a big happy smiley face on all the time. Sometimes, not all the time. And within that time, I started taking these supplements, and I truly, truly, honestly feel so much better this month than I did last month. A snack. If you haven't already seen it, I will have by this point posted a video about Noom, and within that video I talked a little bit about some of the snacks that I lean on for like convenience food, because that is where I kind of fall down in over intake of calories, I suppose. It's not necessarily overeating, but it's just indulging in convenience food all of the time. So if you're interested, I've got a whole review about Noom, which is basically a paid for calorie counting app. It's not sponsored, again, for all of the reasons just mentioned. But I wanted to kind of talk about how I lost some weight. So in this video, I thought I would still mention this, because I don't like a lot of cereal bars. I don't like a lot of like fiber bars, all that stuff. None of it appeals to me. My family all really, really enjoy them. They're just not for me. Often that like synthetic-y sweet stuff is like, ugh, not into it at all. This is completely different. This is a milk chocolate popcorn bar. I still don't love the chocolate on these. I would rather almost it just didn't have chocolate. Like, do you remember they used to do cereal bars, Kellogg's cereal bars, and they were just, like the Frosties one was my favourite. They used to do Frosties, Cocoa Pops, whatever else, and it was just the cereal glued together. Now, over time, they obviously must have realised that most of these, by the time they actually arrived in people's houses, had just crumbled into pieces because they didn't hold together very well. And so they ended up putting that kind of like yoghurt thing at the bottom. Not into it. Not into it at all. I don't like that. Once upon a time, Pop-Tarts used to be plain. They didn't have any icing on them. They were just like a jam tart. Loved it. Apparently, there was an issue. Apparently, do you remember the apparently kid? There was an issue with the inside of a Pop-Tart getting so hot because there was nothing on the outside to like be thermal to like stop it from getting so hot. You know what I'm saying? To like protect it. Apparently, that was the problem. That the jam. Because they used to just do a jam one, like a strawberry one, and then an apple one. We used to love those when we were kids. And so they put the icing over the top. I don't know if the plain ones were still available in America, but we used to only have the plain ones in England. And I've never liked the icing ones. This is just basically me complaining about how they changed my favourite childhood cereals. So anyway, I tend to like plainer stuff, and I tend to like stuff that hasn't got like chocolate and things drizzled all over it. So that's why I struggle with these kind of bars. This is really nice because it's got popcorn, some pretzels, a little bit of chocolate, but it's kind of like sweet and salty. So although you've got that like artificial chocolatey something, I say artificial, I assume it's not real chocolate, is it? It's not going to be. Popcorn bar with milk chocolate pieces, whole grain, rolled oats, pretzel pieces dipped in milk chocolate flavour coating. That's where we're at. But I really, really like it. I really like it. And it's kind of, it's not moreish. It just gives me the right amount of sweetness, with a little bit of saltiness. Perfect. And also, I didn't really understand the purpose of fibre bars before. I thought they were just to help me go to the toilet, which I do not have a problem with because I have IBS. We're sharing all of the information today. So that is not something that I necessarily felt like I needed. However, I learned through my Noom experience that fibre actually keeps you fuller for longer because it takes your body longer to process it. So there we go. We learn every day. Lastly, I want to talk about this, which I've had for quite a few months now, and I keep thinking I'm going to do a video and talk about this, and then I don't. This is the BenQ GS50. The reason that I haven't done the video yet is because I want to do something where I really kind of do it justice. And I received it just before pretty much the longest days began. And it was just too, like, it takes too long to get dark at night for it to be really something we can use on the regular basis. Now, when I'm really excited to use this is going to be kind of like end of summer, beginning of autumn, when the nights are getting earlier and it gets dark earlier, but it's not still kind of super, super cold. This is a projector. We had a projector in the garden anyway, or that we used in the garden anyway, but it was like a much cheaper projector. You needed several different things. You needed to like hook it up to the power. You needed a different speaker. You needed something to actually play into it, which was often a computer. So it was quite a setup to be able to watch something outside. This is like a one-stop shop. This is completely self-contained. You don't need anything else. It's got a remote that comes with it, projecting onto my computer screen right now. And it also has a speaker, so you don't need to hook anything up within that. And on the inside, if I can open this up for you, it also has its own little kind of TV stick, which has got things like Prime and Disney Plus and stuff that you can watch on it, as well as Apple TV, because most of the movies that I have bought over the years are on Apple TV. I've got hundreds that I've collected. You know, pre-streaming, I used to buy them on Apple TV. You see? Ooh, special. And you can control the whole thing from here, and it's got about 2.5 hours running time before you need to plug it in. So this is completely on its own, don't need anything else. If you were camping, this would be absolutely ideal. But just if we're going in the garden and I'm like, oh, do you want to go and watch a movie? We can, no setup. We can just like pop up the screen, which takes 2 minutes, take this outside, sit next to us, and we can watch something on the big screen. It is absolutely perfect. And especially for people like us, because we're not massively outdoor people. We're not people who are going to spend like, we're not people who are going to spend like 7 hours of an evening outside. We're people who are more of a, oh, let's go outside for a little while. Something like this with minimal setup is going to be used so much more often than the kind that we used before, because it was just such an operation to put it all together. You can also hook up this to like literally anything with an HDMI. So the same as a normal one that I've had before, this you can like put your Switch into it and play games outside. You could plug, you know, you can also stream things from your phone. It's amazing. Just awesome. If you're interested, I will leave a link for you below. This was sent to me as a gift to review, and I will definitely be talking more about this as we use it over the kind of end of the summer, beginning of the autumn months. But I have spoken a little bit about this on Instagram as we've been using it, and I kept saying I'll do a video, and I will. I'll probably do on Instagram like a full review of like absolutely everything that it can do. Oh, it's also got a little stand, so cute. But I cannot tell you the difference between this and the old projector that took such a long time to set up. It's amazing. Oh, I'm getting so warm. This weather is so crazy because it's one day so cold, one day so hot. It's nuts. Last thing I want to talk about is the SPF that I'm using at the moment. It is the Nivea Sun Anti-Age and Anti-Pigment. I think these Nivea facial ones are actually my favourite. I really, I don't know, the L'Oreal one. I really like the L'Oreal Revitalift in a pot. But from ones that are like just easy to get hold of and relatively inexpensive, I think this is probably my favourite. Never have an issue with it underneath makeup. It doesn't leave kind of white cast or anything. I have started using that hack that everyone was talking about on Instagram with the brush. So I've got a face brush, like a makeup brush. You know those like ones that look like a toothbrush? Those. the really dense ones. I started doing that on Milo's face when he was going into school. And then I started just using that to apply my sunscreen. So we've got downstairs an SPF 50 and the face brush, and that's how we apply our sunscreen, kind of like daily sunscreen. Can't recommend it enough. If you haven't tried it, putting on a sunscreen with a makeup brush, give it a go. It's like no mess. Obviously you need to use a little bit more because a slight amount might get absorbed into the brush, but really, really easy. And especially if you've got kids, or like my husband hates the feeling of anything on his hands. And that means that he's much more likely to put on SPF because he's not going to put it on if he's then going to wash his hands. It's like a whole thing. Whereas if you can just use a brush, perfect. For me, I have to put it everywhere, chest, neck, everywhere. So it's less fantastic, but it definitely helps you to kind of like get it all around your face, blend it in, and get in the nooks and crannies a little bit easier, especially if you've got nails on, which I don't right now, but I will have soon. I haven't been able to get to my nail appointment because I don't have currently a childminder. It's a long story. But I was kind of like, there was a little period of time where I had like time to myself that I could go, and because she doesn't work the days that I'm off. It's the whole thing. But I now have my appointment tomorrow because Ella's looking after Milo while I go. I'm so excited. So excited. Those last nails that I had grew like almost all the way off my nails. They lasted so well. They lasted the best, in fact, of all nails that she's done. So I'm excited to see what we're going to do tomorrow. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you've missed these. I have missed them so much. Next week I'll be back with more beauty stuff because I've committed to do more beauty stuff on my face, more hair and makeup, because it all is part and parcel. Make me feel better about myself. The hair and makeup, it really does. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.